now starting the Sixes Showcase draft with the first pick in the first round, Coach. Welcome to the 2025 Sixes Tournament and Draft. This is our second year. Last year was our first year doing this. We're excited to be doing it a second year. This time around, we have Coach Gil Trainer here to help us announce the picks. Gil, will you help everyone know who you are?
Yeah, really happy to be here. Coach Gil Trainer from the University of Arkansas Men's Club Lacrosse team. It looks like we've got a great list of guys here. Really excited to be here. Keep kind of growing the game of lacrosse here, even over in the summer, right? We got to get out there and play lacrosse in the summer. So I think this is an awesome opportunity. Really happy to be a part of it. So
that's great. Yeah, we love it, including the University of Arkansas. We love to see more guys play there. We have so many guys that end up going to University of Arkansas. We love to see you guys go out there and have some of our local high school and youth players come watch you guys play. And Anthony, I think most people should know who you are.
Yeah, how about that? Anthony Martin. I am currently the commissioner for the Natural State Lacrosse League. I've had a couple of sons go through the league. They're now done. And looking at the possible draftees for this Sixes Showcase, I think the thing that jumps out to me is, as commissioner of the Natural State League, is getting representation from all over the state. It's not just Northwest Arkansas. There's a number of kids from Central Arkansas. And because our footprint is more than just Arkansas and more than, it's all over the place, love to see this multi-school representation for this. So this would be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really cool thing. We're really excited for everyone's excitement and interest in joining it from all over the state. And I know we've had some kids outside the state have been really interested in joining it because they like the idea of what's happening here and just having fun. So I think that's like the biggest part of the Sixes is trying to have the most fun we possibly can, but also showcasing your talent and doing it with all your friends. That way you don't have to travel hours away just to play a bunch of people you don't know. But with that, though, since we've done this our second year, we want to talk a little bit real quick, going back over the rules of the Sixes. But they are going to be running clock games. 6 players for each team. That is including your goalie. Everyone's using short sticks. And then the one biggest thing, and we'll talk about this the day of, but for the goalies and for everyone playing, it's a fast restart. So it's a 4-quarter game, running clock, 8 minutes each quarter, but the goalies will have a fast restart. So after a goal happens, the ref will be there for you, waiting for you to pick up the ball, and then you hear a whistle, and then it's going right back after it again. So even though they're running clock games and they're 8-minute quarters, you're going to be pretty tired by the end of each one of those games, hopefully at least. And that's what we saw last year, and it was a lot of fun watching it last year because it was a different pace of game. It was fun seeing guys with deep poles using short sticks. And as nerve-wracking as it was for a lot of them, everyone did a great job. It's a great place for you guys to try to learn new things and kind of see everything you've put into this game come out to it in a field where there's really no time for you to take a break, and it gives you a chance for the instincts and the natural abilities that you learn to kind of take over. Now for our coaches for this year. We have 3 returning coaches from last year. We have our Sixes Tournament Championship coach, John Rideout, returning to us this year. We have Coach Bear Thompson and Coach Brian Evans, both returning as well. This year for the order of the draft, we pulled them all out of a hat. So the order of the draft, starting with Coach Brian with the first pick, Coach Bear with the second pick, and Coach Rideout with the third pick. Even though most of you already know those coaches, we want to go ahead and introduce them a little bit. But to start with Coach John Rideout, we have Gil Trainer to announce him.
Yeah, so Coach John, he's a great guy. I had the privilege of working with him last year on the U of A team. He was a student advisor for our program. He's played lacrosse at the MCLA college level, and he continues to stay involved, obviously here at the high school and youth level. He's a really great guy. Last year he took the trophy home with his team. They put in the hard work, but I want to kind of say, the coach makes a little impact too. So exciting to see what he does with his guys this year out there. So excited to see John kind of maybe take home a repeat. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Our other coaches are Coach Brian Evans. Coach Brian is from the area. Played down at Don Tyson in Fayetteville. Is coaching at Rogers now. Going for his second year coaching this summer. Excited for that for him. And then we have Coach Bear Thompson. And Coach Bear coaches down at Fayetteville. Phenomenal goalie coach. And really excited to see his team come out. And I think Bear's coming back for some vengeance this time around. He seems pretty excited. So hopefully the guys you picked can help him take him to the top this time. Coach Brian, talk to us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Brian Evans. I'm a Northwest Arkansas native. I grew up and played lacrosse here. I believe I'm going on my 5th year coaching in Arkansas. This will be my second Sixes tournament, and super excited.
Coach Thompson, please introduce yourself to us.
Hi, I'm Bear Thompson. I am the goalie coach over at Fayetteville High School. I've been coaching there for the last 3 years. This will be my 4th season with them. But I've been playing lacrosse my entire life. And I currently lead the Ozark Howlers Men's Lacrosse Club here in Northwest Arkansas.
And Coach Rideout, will you please introduce yourself to us?
It's John Rideout. I'm from Houston, Texas. This will be my 2nd year coaching the summer tournament. I am not a coach anywhere, but I do serve as an advisor for the University of Arkansas Men's Lacrosse Club.
Okay, so there's a few rules we have for the draft this year like we did last year. We have a couple of coaches that are coach high school teams here. So one of the first rules for us, and we had this one last year, was that the coaches weren't allowed to draft any of the players from their team in the first 2 rounds. Even if they're the best player in the state or not, we were asking our coaches to kind of branch out a little bit and have an opportunity to coach some other kids. Our second rule was a goalie had to be chosen in the first 3 rounds for each team. We didn't want to run into the situation where a team didn't have a goalie and we were putting a random kid into the goalie, in between the goal, and hoping something would go well. And then our third rule was that it's or the order of the draft is we have a snake draft. So the first pick goes, second pick, third pick, and then whoever had the third pick would then have the 4th pick. Most people understand how the drafts go, but I want to make sure everyone understood that. So that means Coach Rideout has 2 picks in a row. And then when it comes back around, Coach Brian Evans will have 2 picks in a row. Now starting the Sixes Showcase draft with the first pick in the first round, Coach Brian Evans, tell us about your pick.
With my number 1 overall pick, I'm going to take Coulter Harris out of Springdale. Great 2-way guy. I think he's a real game changer. With the fast-paced game this is, I really think he's going to help us out on both ends.
Coach Evans picked Coulter Harris for the number 1 pick in the Showcase draft this year. Coach Trainer coached him for a little bit there.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think this is a great pick. Brian, excellent selection. Coulter is a do-it-all player, so whether he's got to play shorty, long pole, in this case, he's going to be playing the short stick midi, or probably all over the field. He can do it all. So really excited to see what he does in this tournament. Expect him to lead the team, kind of help also some of the newer guys maybe grow on his team too. This is a great opportunity for him as well to really step up as a leader to start his season, because that's what he's going to be at Springdale United this year. So excited to see what Coulter does, and this is a great pick. I like it.
Love it.
So the only thing I have to say here, seeing this, the position or the presentation back here, I'm surprised that he's only been playing organized lacrosse for 5 years. I feel like I've seen all 5 of those years, and his skill set is so much far advanced from just 5 years in. I know they come from a lacrosse family; they're a great bunch of folks, but that surprises me because he can pick up any tool out there. He could probably even play goalie if he needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So not a big surprise with that pick. That's a great pick, and Coulter is a great player.
Extremely coachable. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. I love that pick. I think it's definitely I mean, there's no one better you could pick to kind of lead your team. I'm excited to see what happens with Coulter as he finishes the next season and when he kind of decides for college, whether he wants to play more or not. Just excited for the future for him. Now for our second pick in the first round, Coach Barrett Thompson, tell us about your pick.
For my first pick of the 2025 Sixes draft, I am selecting Will Schumacher from Episcopal Collegiate School, goalie. I'm choosing him because as a goalie myself, I think the goalie is the backbone of the team, and selecting an all-state goalie is no question. I'm picking him.
All right, with the second pick, our first goalie taken off the board is Will from Episcopal. I think this is a great pick. I've had an opportunity to get to know Will a little bit better over the summer, and he's a fantastic goalie. He has an extremely strong competitive spirit. I think that's it's a strength, and then he could probably admit that's probably one of his weaknesses because it kind of gets him a little frustrated a bit. But I think it's his biggest strength. He's got fast hands and he can clear the ball really well, which is perfect for the Sixes. A goalie that can pass the ball is really what makes a huge difference here.
I'm not surprised to see a goalie go, in the first round. That's, in this format especially, it's such an important position. The game of sixes is so fast, and again, to your point, you got to hit a player on the run. This is a great opportunity for them to kind of stretch a shorter field, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but the reality is you got to get the ball out, you got to get it moving fast. So not surprised to see a goalie go in this first round. So yeah.
The only thing I would say is that, the one rule you didn't need was probably making people take goalies early. The state of goalie play in lacrosse in the area, in the league, is fantastic, and Will is a perfect representative of that class of goalies. Fantastic player, and looking forward to watching him in this event.
I love that. Yeah. Now with a third pick, Coach Rideout selects.
My first overall pick, I will take Drew Jesse out of Fayetteville High School, goalie.
All right, our second goalie out of Fayetteville's Drew Jesse. Another goalie that fantastic between the pipes and a fantastic ability to throw the ball. Drew plays it very nonchalantly in the goal, but he can save anything and he can make really great passes out of the cage. Definitely a fantastic goalie, and one of the goalies that's made a ton of saves this last season. Really helping his team take some wins away.
Yeah, Drew's a great kid. Local lacrosse, you love seeing it up here in Fayetteville, getting taken to the first round. So excited about that pick from Coach John. Again, Drew's a great kid, and really excited to see what he does out here this summer on the field.
Yeah, I love the fact that you said nonchalantly, right? Because playing goalie is not a nonchalant kind of thing. In watching Drew play throughout the last few years, he's always in position. And I think it's that being in the right place at the right time is probably what makes it look so easy, because what he's doing is so hard.
It's incredibly.
Yeah.
I would never do it. Can't convince me.
Couldn't pay me.
Especially without pads and all that, right? Out there in sweatpants and shorts to 100 miles an hour, no way.
That's right.
With the first pick in the second round, let's go to Coach Rideout.
I will stick with the home cooking here and take Cade Hancock out of Fayetteville High School.
I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised that Cade Hancock goes all the way down to 4. What a tremendous player. We talked about Coulter Harris playing a bunch of different positions and playing them well. The other person that comes to mind for me that does that is Cade Hancock. I think he plays attack well. He plays midi. He even had the deep hole in his hand for some of the time last year. What a weapon to have on this team, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Cade is an incredible player, very athletic, very speedy, very quick. I think the craziest thing watching Cade is that I think he shocks some guys. If you don't play with him very often, he can shock you a little bit with where he throws you the ball. He's one of the guys that reads the field really well. He'll give you a pass when you least expect it, but probably when you need it the most. Yeah. Even though you don't know you need it, he knows you need it, and I think that's a really fun part about Cade. I love to see him play and love to see him. I think the Six is a great place for him to showcase and really kind of push his ability. Have him want to push the ball more on his own.
Swiss Army knife players are, they're always going to get picked up early in these rounds for Sixes. So excited to see Cade get picked up and again kind of lead his team on the field for this. This is going to be exciting. So yeah, that great pick by Coach John. Love it. This is going to be. He's got a good team so far.
The one thing I did write down that I didn't mention here was, and I think you alluded to it, lacrosse IQ. It's probably as much as anyone I've seen lately. Cade Hancock has a just massive lacrosse IQ. And while this gets a little bit individualized, Cade's going to be the guy that makes everybody else on his team better, no doubt. So nice pick. We'll go to the second pick in the second round, and we'll go over to Coach Bear for that one.
Nathan Stevens out of Bentonville High School. He is a solid short 60 midi, and no one works harder than him, fighting for ground balls and playing defense. That comes from two of his coaches. So, yeah.
Nathan Stevens from Bentonville. So we joke over. My son played over in Bentonville. We joked with Nathan. He does absolutely everything. He does all the tough assignments for the team, right? What doesn't get displayed enough, and the team jokes with him, right, is he doesn't think offense enough. Everybody pushes him to think offense more because he's a great two-way midi. This would be a wonderful opportunity for him to showcase that truly great offensive skill that he has that's just waiting to come out.
Oh, yeah. I think this is the play. Sixes is a place for players like Nathan to really shine because he's so good at defense. And I know he loves to play offense, and this gives him a chance to play it.
Yeah.
But his ability to play defense is incredible with a short stick. Not an easy thing to learn and an easy thing to get good at, and he's good at it. He's fantastic at it. It's a great pick.
Yeah, I think you guys have said it all. Really excited to see, these Bentonville guys out here on the field. They have really demonstrated a high level of lacrosse for the last couple of years, and really excited to see what kind of this new generation of Bentonville lacrosse players that are kind of rising into these kind of these positions on their teams, what they're going to bring to the field, especially this summer. So, I'm really excited about it because I know the coaching staff over there has really been working hard to create a really sustainable program that is really geared towards success over the long run. So again, excited to see these Bentonville guys, what they're going to do and what they're bringing on the field this summer. It's going to be awesome.
All right. We'll go over to the third pick in the second round, and we'll go to Coach Brian Evans for that one.
I am going to take Asher out of Fayetteville and make him my second.
So the pick in there is Asher Daughtery from Fayetteville.
Yes, Asher is Asher's a fun he's one of those really young guys. He's a freshman this year. I think you could see a lot of potential of him going into the season. We played Fayetteville early in the season, and Rogers is trying to grow and trying to get better at the games in general. But watching Asher's growth from that game to the very last game of the season, it was incredible. Like Asher is definitely in a great place to help take over the offense going into the next year for Fayetteville. He's got a great shot. He knows how to move with the ball. I think playing with Cade and having that opportunity this year, and also playing with Aiden Copestick, was a great opportunity for him to grow into a leadership position for their offense. So he's a great player for the Sixes. He's very athletic, and he can shoot the ball, and he can help on offense. So I'm really a big fan of Asher and excited to see him play.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love seeing up here on the board is a young guy getting taken early in the draft, and also when you look 5 years playing lacrosse already. So what does that mean? He's been playing since a young age, and for Arkansas lacrosse, that is such a huge thing because we're all about growing the game here, I think. And again, to see a young player getting taken this early with 5 years of lacrosse experience, to me that means it's working, right? Like we've got a great player coming off the board early. He's young. Who knows? I mean, this kid's going to be a rock star. It's already a rock star, but by the time he's a senior, man, like this is a great sign for Arkansas lacrosse. Super excited about this pick. So
yeah.
And to put a skilled offensive attackman with Coulter Harris, nice job. Nice job, Coach Evans.
That's a draft strategy right there. Right. I like that. Okay, so now we're starting out round 3, pick 1. So with the first pick in the third round, Coach Brian has selected Joseph Vanover. Now this is a really awesome, intriguing pick. I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about what you think of it, but I mean, on paper, this kid is, he's a monster in the cage. 6'6". I mean, man, what a great pick.
Yeah, it's having the height and having the size in the cage is huge. I also love that this is the second goalie pick from Central Arkansas. He'll be one of the goalies leading one of the 3 teams, and there'll be 2 of the 3 teams being led by Central Arkansas goalies, which is, It tells you a lot, though, like the trust that we have in our goalies here in Arkansas in general. Like all the teams have fantastic goalies. They all are great between the pipes, and I think getting after it and picking a goalie quick is probably the best choice because you get to choose the goalie you want the most. So I'm really excited to see Joseph in the cage and seeing how he translates his ability into playing sixes.
Yeah, and I also think this is a great part about seeing the Central Arkansas teams playing. Right, Salt County is a fairly new program in the lacrosse league, but they have had almost immediate success with their organization. They made it to a couple of state semifinals. Part of that has been cornerstone of there is defense and goalie play, and this looks like just the next iteration of the staunch defense and goalie play out of the Salt County folks. And if I was a bet man, I would not start betting against Salt County. Right, they have made tremendous strides right off the bat, and they're coming. They're coming for the titles. So love this pick with the defenseman with Joseph Vanover.
Absolutely. Okay, so now for round three, second pick, we're going over to Coach Bear, who has taken David Banks from Fayetteville, a D-pull. Again, another deep. This seems to be a clear strategy here in the draft early is get these defensive stalwarts on the field. So I like it. Thoughts?
Yeah, I love David. David's athletic. He can run up and down the field. Saw him do it multiple times this season. Whether it's on a turnover or just an open field ground ball, he can carry it all the way down the field. He can take it to the house or pass it off. He's got a great field IQ. His experience is definitely starting to show as he's gotten older in the game, and he's a fun player to watch.
Yeah, and I love seeing defensemen go number one early because it's important here. We got a few offensive players, but now that the defense comes in, you see the importance of that, but also the progression of these kids now that they have to use a short stick, right, and help that skill set grow in a different environment. It's a neat part of this, and
yeah. All right, now for the third pick of the third round, Coach John has gone with Lucas Bartlett, so a lefty D-pull from Rogers. I think maybe we'll let the Rogers specialist head coach here talk about that pick. But great, I mean, I love seeing a lefty D-pull on the field. I mean, it just throws a wrench in every offensive player's game plan. So, let's hear a little bit about the kid.
To be fair, I don't know if Lucas really wants me to say much about him. I'm just kidding. No, I love Luke. Lucas is awesome. I think Lucas he's got a willingness just to get into everything and to, risk everything and just he wants to play hard. He wants to get after it all the time. And his IQ has grown a lot in this short amount of time of playing. And it's just kind of crazy to see a lot of these kids in Arkansas. We've seen some experienced players go off the draft. We've also seen a lot of young guys guys are young in the game who are learning the game quickly, and in some cases, like with Lucas, where it's needed on a team like Rogers, he's figured out how to help the defense and kind of be the center point of everything that's happening there. And this is a great opportunity for him to learn how to take the ball up and down the field better.
So I'm kind of curious with a couple of coaches here. What you mentioned the difficulties of going against a left-handed defenseman. What does that do? What should our attackmen be thinking about now, going against a left-hander?
You want to take the first stab at it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when you play against a lefty D-pull is it's kind of like shooting against a lefty goalie. Is we're so used to play. Most players are right-handed, and when you play to the dominant side of a pull, they're usually much better at giving you a hard check to that side. So if you're a right-handed player, they can left-handed check you all the time. And a lot of our players, and unfortunately this is an attack on all of you, because most of you don't like to go left or right.
That's right. Oh,
you
man.
only play strong hand all the time. And so I think if you want to not have this be a problem and not have to deal with lefty goalies and lefty D-pulls or defensemen, you got to switch your hands.
Yep. Yeah, I would say just CTOs. I mean, that's it. It's watch more of them come from this kid in this tournament probably here, and that's a good challenge for these offensive players. I mean, you're right. Your dominant hand, if you're getting checks when you're not really expecting it with the force you would normally expect it, when you're making a pass and you got a well-timed poke check there from a lefty, man, it disrupts you. So let's see, CTO City here, hopefully. From Lucas Bartlett. Yep.
I love that. Now with the fourth round, and the first pick in the fourth round, Coach Rideout selects Cooper Henry. Really excited for this pick. Really excited for Cooper. I have had an opportunity to know Cooper for quite a while now. He's been playing the game for a long time. He has a huge benefit also where his dad's been playing the game for a really long time. His dad's really good. It's fun playing men's league with him. He can do everything. Cooper's been learning and growing, and he can do everything as well. So I'm really excited for him to showcase his athleticism and everything he's been learning over the years.
So for me here, I love to see the Bentonville players now. There was a massive senior class there, 12 players or something, and so there's a ton of talent that's not as well known, didn't get as much exposure and playing time. This is going to be a wonderful showcase for Cooper Henry to kind of bust out of that and make an impact, kind of come onto the scene.
Love that.
Bring it.
Yeah, I mean, this is well said. All of these graduating Bentonville kids, there's a lot of opportunity there on the field, and I think this is just the start of that for those younger players that, they've played behind 2 championship level teams here. Like, they've had a lot of seniors and juniors they've been looking up to over the years, crafting their skills, molding their game after these players. So it's really exciting to see what these young guys are going to bring to the field and what Bentonville lacrosse looks like this year, because it's a completely different team. So it's exciting. Really excited to see this pick with Cooper.
Absolutely.
Now with our second pick in the 4th round, Coach Thompson selects Lawrence Montgomery. Lawrence is from Episcopal. I've had a great opportunity to get to know Lawrence a little bit more over the summer. I know Lawrence hasn't had a ton of opportunity to be able to play the past couple of years due to some injury, but he's come back, and he's come back strong. Very athletic, very tall. He can run the ball up and down the field, and he's okay taking hits and checks, and he'll keep on running. So this is, getting a player like this in the 4th round is awesome. He might be one of the better, most athletic guys on the field out there, or at least one of the guys more willing to carry the ball up and down the field.
So we saw last year over in the Natural State League that the Episcopal Collegiate School was probably the surprise team of the year, and really a big part of that, if not the main part of that, right, was strength in the midfield. Mm-hmm. And so Lawrence, I think, shows exactly what they're doing there. They got a couple of kids that are going on to college. He'll step up in a big way. It's a neat program for him.
Yeah, I got to say, this feels like a sleeper pick to me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Young guy, 2027. Again, to your point, Episcopal's really been growing their program, really some surprising things they've been able to accomplish on the field. Not surprising, but I think that the talent they're bringing in, again, I think this pick right here, that's kind of, this is going to show us something.
Yeah, we'll come back to this pick here
Yeah,
on August 3rd and go,
Yep.
this is the one that made the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. They've done a really good job of growing the talent based on a small roster. Trying to learn I need to learn how they do it, 'cause they definitely take a small roster and they make something great out of it.
Yep.
Now with the 3rd pick in the 4th round, Coach Evans selects Colin Eberhard from Rogers. Colin's one of our really young players. He's going to be a freshman this year, and he's one of the 8th graders that played for Rogers last year. Very athletic, big body for a freshman. Shows a lot of ability to kind of do a little bit of everything. I think we're not all sure. I'm not sure if he knows what he wants to play quite yet. He can play defense. He can play offense. I just know he doesn't want to get in the goal. So he can do a little bit of everything. He's willing to carry the ball up and down the field. I think this is a great pick. Coach Evans knows him a little bit better than everyone else does, and so I think that gives him a little bit of insight of what he's getting. And but Colin can be a huge asset. I'm excited to see Colin over the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first 2029 player we've had on the board here, right? So this is a young kid, been playing lacrosse for a while. I think, to your point, he doesn't quite know what position he wants to play. I love hearing that as a coach, because that means that you're a lacrosse player at the heart of it, right? And when I hear a guy tell me, especially when they're kind of in the younger stages of lacrosse in the early high school years, I'm only at this position.
Right.
You can't determine the guys that are playing ahead of you, but to be that kind of a player that's willing to kind of do it all, man, as a coach, you just love to see that. So this is a great pick. Love seeing a young guy go early, especially from Rogers, a really great developing team. The work that you guys have put in for the program and the work that your guys have put in, I as a coach, I think, wow, man, like I aspire to that, right? Like especially from the U of A, where we're really trying to turn our program around as well. Seeing a local team like that, really with the heart and soul your guys have, it is truly inspiring. And they're great kids. They're great lacrosse players. So really excited about this pick. Really excited to see what Colin's going to do on the field. So
I couldn't say anything better, right? That was a masterclass in analysis there, yeah. All right, with the first pick in the 5th round, Coach Evans selects from Rogers High School Fisher Bennington, a 2029 attackman from Rogers. One of your guys, right, Coach?
Yep, it is. Fisher's another one of those really young guys. Plays a lot of sports. He's a football and basketball guy, so he's constantly in the workshop working on his athleticism, his skill. But he's just one of those guys that even though he's tired, he's already probably had 4 hours of practice and working out in a day. He'll still stay after practice and keep shooting. He wants to be really good, and he's doing his best to get at it. And I'm really excited. It's fun for him to go play the Colon as well because they have a lot of experience. But I think you said it earlier with Coulter. Coulter has an opportunity to, lead a younger team, and this is definitely one of those cases where he has a bunch of young players, but guys that are willing to, they'll follow him and they'll fight with him the entire way because Fisher's another one of those guys. He's young, but he's willing to fight for everything.
Yeah, this is another, pretty awesome pick. Again, I think, speaks to Coach Brian, believes in his guys. Excited to have him play for him in the summer a little bit here. I think it provides another little opportunity for him to kind of, get in his players' ears a little bit, say, hey, I can see you've been working on this over the summer. Maybe, take the good to see it early in the fall ball season so that he knows coming back to the season what he want to kind of keep an eye out for his guys. But I like it. And, multi-sport athletes, I think they're some of the best guys you can coach. This is a cool pick. I like this. So Fisher, see what he does.
So, and it also, I think, brings to mind one thing for me is when we have multi-sport athletes, right, and they get into lacrosse, they realize how much lacrosse is fun, what a great game it is, and more importantly, how much baseball sucks, right? So with the other thing from this pick, sorry for all the baseball fans. The other thing from this, I think you mentioned it. We got Coach Evans going and back to back with a couple of players that he's familiar with, and who are younger players that the other coaches might not have seen or be aware of. So a little inside baseball, if you were.
Yeah, and you know what sport is on the exact opposite part of the year for that? Football. So anybody out there who has buddies that play football at any of these other schools, Springdale, Rogers, Fayetteville, go get them out there. Lacrosse, you get to hit people. Unlike any of the other sports out there, physical contact is legal, and it's a great way to complement your football season. So I will just say that any football coaches or football players watching, come join the lacrosse team in your off season. So
we love football players.
We love football players in lacrosse. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Now, going to the second pick in the 5th round, we have for Coach Bear. He's going with Nate Henderson, a 28 midfielder from Fayetteville.
Yeah, this is one of those picks that Bear knows Nate probably better than any of the other coaches do, or actually knows him, which is a huge benefit because Nate's really young in the game, but Nate is learning the game quickly. He's very athletic. He's willing to run up and down the field. He can play defense. It seems like he's loving the game. He's loving playing it, and I'm really excited to see Nate grow over the years. I'm excited seeing him this summer, having him play on method already, and he's learning how to do everything. He can do everything for a team. And so I don't know. This is I think the draft's actually pretty deep, and there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of kids to grow. A lot of these teams to have some guys do some things that you would never expect to see out of them. Yeah,
Sixes lacrosse. It's a lot of back and forth up the field running. A young guy, 1 year of lacrosse under his belt, Nate. He's going to get a lot of time on the field, and this is going to be a really good opportunity, I think, to get a lot of reps in at offense and defense. You love seeing kids that are kind of early in the sport getting out here and taking advantage of these opportunities. And when you got a strong goalie like Will, kind of anchoring your team to kind of, again, help some of these newer guys get up the field, get the ball up the field. I think that this is going to be a really good opportunity for these younger guys getting out there doing this. So, yeah.
We will go to the third pick in the 5th round. Coach Rideout will select Joshua Capra, a 26 short stick defensive midi from Bentonville.
Yeah, this is a defensive midi that has wheels for days. He's a cross-country guy. He can run all day long.
More Bentonville guys from cross-country that can run. Oh, my word.
He can run all day long.
Watch out.
Yeah, it's impressive, the ability to keep on going. Josh's game, he's new in the game too. So his IQ is growing. It's for a first year, though, his IQ is probably where it should be, if not a little bit higher. I think it states a lot to Bentonville's program and their ability to bring on guys, whether they have a lot of experience or no experience, and get them game ready. And it probably takes only weeks to get them that way. Definitely how they run the program, how they take care of their guys, and they teach them how to play the game.
Yeah, and I think I personally love seeing like first year SSDMs. We had one on our team last year who in his first year he's grown immensely. So this is a great opportunity for Joshua. Get out there, kind of demonstrate your defensive prowess that Bentonville is really known for, their discipline on the field, but also stretch yourself a little bit. This is a chance for you to get those offensive reps that, in your first year you may not have been as comfortable getting, but showcase in the summer. Like this is it. Like this is your chance to really go out there, make the mistakes. It doesn't matter. And then, once it starts to click, get a goal or two, man, you're gonna bring that into the fall season with that under your belt. So I will say I love having like earlier, like a little, like again, 2026, a little bit more mature defensive player SSDMs coming in with less experience. That means they don't have any bad habits. So that's my favorite. So like, man, he's got a whole year to really build those really good habits as a short stick defender, and then kind of maybe add that transition game for offense. That's exciting. So this is a really awesome pick as well.
So those are two, I think, 1-year players going back to back. And I love the fact that they're coming and playing in this format, right? Where I think it'd be difficult with a 1-year player to go on a normal summer circuit sometimes and play with the larger field teams, that having this smaller set, different rules, a little more open, a little more casual, kind of allows more growth and a different style of play.
I agree.
Love that.
Okay, starting off the 6th round, the first pick, we're seeing what Coach John is going with. He has gone with Thayer Norwood, a lefty from Bentonville, an attackman. I see, I think Coach John is picking these Bentonville guys up. We know the program, the notoriety here, the players, the caliber of players they have, their coachability. So not a surprise here. And again, not as surprising to pick the lefty on the field. The only attackman on the list that was a lefty. So excited to see that pick.
Yeah, there's a great pick. And probably will be in a lot of ways a sleeper pick. There's a very good attackman. He can play midfield. His ability to run through checks is incredible. Actually, it's a hard thing to teach, a hard thing to coach, and Thayer does it just without really much like care or anything. To see him over the summer, see him get beat up all the time because he does it, and he just gets back up and keeps on kicking. Thayer is a tough player, and he I don't know, he probably will lead this offense. It'll be fun seeing him. He's playing with Cade and playing with a couple of these guys in offense. So.
Yeah, so I think Thayer was on the team that won last year.
You're
so
right.
he's got a ring. He's bringing it back. Going to defend the title.
So he's a repeat for John.
Yeah, John knows what's happening. Yeah, he's got the insider track on this player here, I think maybe.
So I have to say this. Being a commissioner of the Natural State League, I have to try not to appear biased or prejudiced like that, right? The fact of the matter is, if there's a player I root for last year, it's Thayer, right? I absolutely love watching him play. He's unorthodox a little bit, but he just scores goals, right? He's tough to deal with. Love watching Thayer play. Can't say enough good things about him.
Absolutely. I love Thayer.
Cool. Well, so for the second pick in the 6th round, Coach Bear is going with Lincoln Sonner, Bentonville attackman. So, again, not surprising seeing these Bentonville players coming off the board here in the attack. I think that they're going to really be an anchor for all their teams on offense. And a local coach's son. I don't know, you want to talk about that, Coach Finney's kid here a little bit here?
Yeah, no, Lincoln's awesome. His shot is fantastic. So in 6s, this is a great opportunity to see some of the guys showcase their shots. Because when we spread the field really thin, especially with a goalie like Will, you can spread the field a little bit thin and get Lincoln into the shooting space and let him start ripping it. And then you're going to see Lincoln have a heyday if his team can give him the ball. So really exciting. Lincoln's growing. He's growing strong in the game. Definitely excited to see his growth at Bentonville and what he can bring to their team. But really excited for the 6s showcase.
Yeah. So being around Lincoln, it seems to me he's got the mental approach of a sniper. Yeah. Right, you can just tell the way he carries himself on the field. He knows what he's going to do. He's a sniper mentality. What I'd like to see in this shoe is a lot of time we're talking about how people can develop skills and all this. Honestly, from Lincoln, what I'd like to see is a little more chirp and a little more like he's got the celebrations in him. We know his dad, right? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'd like to see a little more of that out of Lincoln. He's got it in him.
I like that. Yeah.
All right. So for the 3rd pick in the 6th round, we have Nav White, the midi from Fayetteville. So again, we're seeing these Fayetteville kids come off the draft board here. Really excited for what Nav is going to bring to the team here. Again, got a 2027, so a rising junior. Another really good opportunity for a guy who hasn't played too much lacrosse to kind of step up into, again, what is going to be a rising leadership position. That's what I really challenged, like, these juniors that are coming out here, especially on this summer Sixes team. Realize that your presence on the team changes when you're a junior and a senior. And I think anybody who's played high school or college level sports knows that there's a different level of responsibility. And so, like, excited to see what Nav is going to do for this team. And again, anchored, it's a younger team, and it's Coulter Harris. And then, if we go on the list, you're seeing a lot of younger guys here. So this is a really good opportunity for, again, a rising junior to kind of like, all right, I'm going to solidify himself coming out on the field and kind of show us what he's got. So,
Yeah, Nav played in the Sixes last year. I think just as he keeps growing, his athleticism keeps coming with him. The more exciting things Nav's going to be able to do on the field. So a great player that's grown in the game and looks really promising. With the first pick in round 7, Coach Evans selects Blaine Wood from Salt County. Blaine's got quite a bit of experience with playing down there in Central Arkansas with Salt. I think this is his 4th year playing, and it kind of goes back to what you're talking about with Salt, where they focus a lot on goalies and defense. Blaine's going to be one of their heavy pieces of making sure that defense stays strong into this year, and also helping their younger guys know how to play that take care of the defense and keep them pushing forward. So really excited to see him play out here. It's always fun, especially on some guys like Poles that I don't know a ton about them. I haven't seen them play like a ton in person. It's always fun to see them put a short stick in their hands, and also see them like they might be he might not be very reserved, but to see most D poles are pretty reserved about it. Then they put the short stick and they have so much fun. So it's fun to see that happen and see where they're a little bit less, a place where they can feel comfortable to have fun out there. So excited to have him up here and doing that for his team. With the second pick in round 7, Coach Thompson selects Connor from Fayetteville. Connor is the second goalie for Coach Thompson, and also a goalie that he knows very well. Connor is an extremely intelligent goalie, extremely intelligent off the field and on the field. He loves the game, but I think his ability to stop the ball is fantastic. He's learning how to throw the ball. So I'm excited to see Connor play in this aspect, but probably see between those two goalies. I don't know if which one's going to want to play a little bit less goalie and play a little bit field position, but I'm excited to see what they kind of do with that team.
So we've got Coach Bear, a former goalie,
Yep.
loading up goalies. Is that what I'm
Makes
seeing
sense.
going on
trend
here?
here. It's a little trend.
And one other thing to note, I don't know if you guys have seen, but you gotta point out the fit from the young man in goal with the plaid pants, right?
Oh,
That's the kind of style we need on the field, whether it's Sixes or anything else. We need more of that right there. Way to go, Connor.
That is amazing.
Absolutely.
I don't think we'd expect anything less from Connor. If you've met him, he's a fun kid.
He's a fun guy. All right, with the third pick in the round 7, Coach Rideout selects Liam Ham from Rogers. Liam's a great pick. I think Liam's on a great, fantastic journey of not pinpointing himself in just one specific position. A Fogo guy, fantastic, really quick hands, but he's learning how to play the rest of the game as well right now, especially on offense and defense. Both things that he's figuring out. So I think 6 is a great place for him to start showcasing that and helping out his team in every aspect of the game. Especially on those 4 faceoffs, he can definitely be a huge aspect to give them 4 extra possessions, but also be able to help on both sides of the field.
That's right. Transition player. That's what you got to be as a face-off artist. So I like to see it.
Is this the first face-off, like somebody who's had face-off in their
think
general
so.
repertoire? I know it's not
Yeah.
a big part of Sixes, but it could be a difference maker. I like actually seeing that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually might be, other than Coulter, who's probably taken on a little bit,
Right.
or quite a bit this season. But yeah, he might actually be the one taken so far that's more of a Fogo.
Yeah. With the first pick in round 8, Coach Rideout selects Mac Lassiter. He is a 2027 attackman from Catholic. This is our first Catholic appearance, I think, in the draft. So traditionally a great program and great development from the Catholic organization historically through our league. They get great numbers. I think they had a huge freshman class this year. I think we're seeing a number 22. I think that was Jameson Lang's number. So if you're going to get that number at Catholic, you're probably pretty good. They don't hand that out to just anyone.
Yeah, agreed. And it's exciting to see like these young guys are starting to help. But the coaching changes on every team are really hard, and it's always a little interesting how things go forward with a coaching change. And sometimes it's even harder when the coach has already been there for a while, because it's like the change of role from one thing to the next, from one position to the next. Some guys have a harder time with it, or just how you change how things are being ran. It kind of surprises everybody. But I'm really excited to see Catholic and these guys that are taking over the team into the future, because they're going to do great.
Yeah,
They have so many numbers.
And to give a shout out to Catholic, they're John McNally, one of the only 2 players from the state of Arkansas on the U of A Arkansas lacrosse team. So challenge to all the other guys that are coming out here to this tournament, that are at the U of A right now, or that are graduating or coming this year as a freshman, come on out to the team this fall, because like I said, we've got 2 guys from the state of Arkansas playing on this team, and Catholic High is representing one of them. So shout out to their program.
So I think the other thing we have to note about the Catholic program while we're here, right, is that they're coached by Coach Bear Gibbs, which makes our league probably the only one that has 2 Coach Bears.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
That's pretty awesome.
Gotta shout that out.
I love it.
All right, with the second pick in the 8th round, Coach Bear, I don't know whether it's Coach Bear 1 or Coach Bear 2, takes Weston Cogan, a 2029 attackman from Bentonville. Interesting situation here. I think in a lot of sports, and lacrosse is one of them, when we see a lacrosse family and an older brother plays and now a younger brother plays, always interesting to see the younger brother pick it up pretty quickly. So that's what's going on here with Weston, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Weston's fun. Weston's got a great personality. He's got the desire just to play hard and play hard all the time. So it's be fun. It's a great pick for a younger guy. And I think it's a huge testament. Like, we have these older brothers playing, but then thank you to Osmo for getting these kids out there playing early. He's been playing for 4 years, about to go to high school. All of his experience has been through the youth program, and he's a great player. Really excited to see Weston play out in the 6s, but really excited for the next 4 years for him.
And with the 3rd pick in the 8th round, Coach Evans selects Samuel Turner, a 2028, I believe, attackman from Salt County. Now, I just want to note here again for the visual. I'm apparently a visual learner and talker in the later parts of the round. Like all of you defensive coaches are saying, "Yep, that's an attackman playing defense right there," right? All right. Love the fact. I think this is the first attackman that we've had from the Salt County team. So again, love the fact they're coming over here. They got a great youth program. They got an affiliation with a couple of colleges. So love the program there, coming over and playing up here in Northwest Arkansas for the 6s. So love it.
All right, and so for the first pick from round 9, we have Harsh Pandir, who is a really interesting pick. Learning more about this kid and what he's already accomplished and what he's doing in the game of lacrosse, really exciting. PLL juniors, 2029. This kid is a rising freshman, defenseman playing for Bentonville. Wow, they've got a talent coming in at Bentonville here. Really excited to see what this kid is going to do at the 6s tournament. I'm keeping my eye on him. So,
yeah, this could be definitely a potential, depending on, he's going to have a pretty busy few weeks from what I heard with this, surrounded with the PLL stuff and some other lacrosse things he's got going on. But definitely a player that's going to be fun for the 6s. Definitely a player to watch out for the next 4 years.
Yeah. The second pick of the 9th round, Coach Bear has picked Jackson Young, another defender from Bentonville here. So I don't know if you want to talk about Jackson here.
Love Jackson. Jackson has learned to have he's grown a love for the game. He gets out and plays as much as he possibly can. He's got a great spirit around him, and definitely the one thing I learned about Jackson most recently is he's really trying to get better at the game, and he's really trying to understand how to improve where his deficiencies are in the game, and he's really focused on it. And it's one of those things I really appreciate. It's sometimes I wish you would lighten up just a little bit, because it's you're in the process, but at the same time, like Jackson is making a lot of progress and definitely found a home and playing defense, and just it's a process of the game getting better. So really excited for that.
Excellent.
For the third pick in the 9th round, Coach John has gone with Noah Ellis, an attackman from Catholic. And so this is his first year playing. So again, got a guy newer to the game of lacrosse. This is going to be exciting to see what he brings. Kind of probably one of maybe it'll be like a really good growth opportunity for him, is what we like to see for these guys that are kind of newer to the game, especially a younger guy playing lacrosse here. Really good challenge to play some two-way lacrosse. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Coach John with another pick here for the first pick in the 10th round is going with Zach Black, a goalie from Salt. So again, doesn't hurt to round out your team with a goalie here. I think that's a really smart move. It's going to be hot out there in the summer, so get another guy out there, get on the field, and this is a really good opportunity for these younger goalies to kind of see some competition they may not normally see. A 2028, again, he's been playing lacrosse for a while here, 6 years, but the summer ball, it's a little different, especially a fast pace of play. So this will be a really good opportunity for Zach to get out there and get a lot of good reps in. So yeah.
All right, with that concludes our 25 Sixes Showcase draft. You'll see on the screen are the three different teams: Coach Evans, Coach Rideout, and Coach Thompson. Each of the screen's colors are based off of the team color. So Coach Evans would be team blue, and then for team green, I believe we have Coach Thompson, and then for orange team, it's going to be Coach Rideout. So with each one of those teams, I think they actually picked the same colors they were last year. So excited to see them out there again. I don't know what their plans are exactly with their jerseys, or if they're going to change anything up or not, but your coaches will definitely reach out to you in terms of that here soon, once everything goes live and sent out to all of you. But also on top of that, if you weren't part of the draft this year and you still want to play in the Sixes tournament, please reach out to us now. If you have my phone number, just call me, text me. If you're on band, you can reach me there. Go ahead, email me, or just DM us through Instagram at the Method Lacrosse Instagram, and we'll get you guys set up and squared away so you can play in the Sixes, and we'll add as many more kids as we can, but we just don't want to do anything day of. So if you're going to do this, do it now. We are excited. We're going to have a few extra little mini games, or like other games like that, like a goalie battle, or I can't remember exactly what the PLL called it.
Goalie Wars?
Goalie
Wars.
Wars.
There we
That's
go.
what it is, Goalie Wars. We're going to have a fastest shot competition, which one of our second round first pick, Cade Hancock, won it last year.
Ooh.
I think he was shooting like 92 or 93. So excited to see some guys try to take him on again and see if they can walk away with the free head this time. Anything else?
Just excited to see some great lacrosse out there. Summer ball is always fun in lacrosse. It's time to grow. I challenge all these young players to pick one aspect of their game that they know they need to work on. Maybe that last little bug that your coach put in your head to focus on over the summer. Practice it now. This is the time to do it. Sixes tournament is about having fun and learning and growing. So that's my challenge to all these players. There's a lot of really good players on here. And as a coach, I can tell you, you're not done growing your game. So do that, and this is going to be a really successful event for each and every single one of you. So
the only thing I would add is actually to thank you as coaches for putting this on. It's great for the footprint that we're on, to have the footprint we're in, to have more opportunities for kids to play. We use the phrase grow the game a lot, but a lot of times we don't lower the barriers to entry, and that's what this does, right? It makes it more fun, easier to play, and that's how we grow the game. So thank you, coaches.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Excited to see you guys out there on August 2nd.